Brandon, it's been a long time since we talked television. This is the reimagined form of the prior Wednesday Rewind. It is now the Friday Flashback. And so this episode, we are going to talk about a very fun, I think it made it, what, five? Five season show. That is Chuck, something we actually brought up quite regularly, both together and when I did the videos by myself, when Limitless was being reviewed on the channel for the Wednesday Rewind. And so after that open rolls, we will break it down, we'll talk about it, that being Chuck, the TV show. Sir, I am glad that you were able to make it over for this said conversation. Because like I said before the open roll, we did talk about how Brian from Limitless was reminiscent of Chuck, the title character in this said show. And I especially felt that in the last two episodes, which you weren't able to make it for, when Brian was exiled from the FBI. And so, because he was working at Data World instead of the Bymore, where Chuck works. But man, the Bymore was... So I've long thought about working at a Best Buy. I hear they pay good, and they don't pressure you to make sales. They pay good enough to where you're not like pushing product, if you will. Mm-hmm. And so, and for proximity's sake, I've thought about giving it a go. But yeah, the show made, because the Bymore feels so much like a Best Buy, made me think. I think, man, it might be all right to give it a shot. Mm-hmm. I ain't done it, obviously. I blame them. I blame Best Buy. It's not my fault. It's your fault, Best Buy. Like, I want to be there with you, but you don't make your job titles clear enough for me to do the dang thing.
So if you're listening, make it clear, because you literally got somebody right next door.
I'm ready to go. I want it. But yeah, no, I really like Zachary Levi's Chuck. That's why I put this hat on from Shazam.
Oh yeah, one of his first big major roles too.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Well, it's funny because Zachary Levi was, for a very minute amount of time, within the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Yep. And then, poof, he disappeared, got replaced by Prince Charming.
Yeah, he was a blonde-haired dude in Thor.
Yes, yeah, right. One of the Warriors 3.
Correct.
Which one? Don't know.
No. Yeah, exactly.
Not the fat one, I'll tell you that.
or the Japanese one.
Yes.
We know that one.
Not that one either. But yeah, so Zachary Levi, he departs from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, joins the DC Expanded Universe, and does some what I consider very good work on Shazam. But that's not what we're here for. We're here to talk about Chuck. Like I said, Zachary Levi plays the title character of Chuck, who is gifted with a supercomputer in his brain by what he considers his antagonist, adversary, former friend in college. Can't remember his dang old name. Can you remember the actor's name? He plays his he stars in White Collar and is a character in Doom Patrol. So again, getting some of those DC vibes. I'll pop up his picture. Like I said, as soon as I Google it, I'll be like, oh, of course that was his name. But Matt Bomber.
Bomber. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The reason it hit me is because I remembered so many people had on the internet said, man, he'd make for a great Bruce Wayne.
Ooh, okay.
I think the time has come and gone.
Yes.
But like there was a period of time before there was a connected universe that people had thought he'd make for a really good Bruce Wayne. Mm-hmm. Because he is very charming and handsome, obviously. Which that's not hard to come by in the Hollywood.
I know.
But yeah, so his Chuck's former friend, adversary, whatever you want to call him, sends him an encrypted message via email that ingrains a supercomputer into his brain. And so then that gets a joint task force from government agencies, all the alphabet bits, you know, the CIA, the FBI, the NSA, the DEA, the ABCs.
I know they can go on.
All of them working together. I'm surprised they can get the IRS up in here. But yeah, so they all work together to use Chuck as an asset because he has all this information to not only stop things, but they also protect him because he's very valuable to them. And the primary people that he interacts with, Casey, played by Adam Baldwin, who I freaking love. I love that guy. So he is a star of the next Wednesday Rewind that we're going to do. I say that because the next TV show review that is going to happen on the channel is dropping on my birthday, September the 27th. So it is the return of the Wednesday Rewind. It will be a week of non-stop odds. So Monday to Friday, nothing but content. That week, but we're going to be talking about Daybreak, a show that stars Taye Diggs and also Adam Baldwin, Moonblood Good, a bunch of people that I just thoroughly enjoy. But yeah, Adam Baldwin is one of the primary handlers from this conglomeration of government places working to protect and use Chuck to figure stuff out and stop crises. But he's not the only one. There's also a love interest character, because it's what we do here. It's what we do here. We got to put those connections out there. And she, so she starts out very hardened by the book, and not exclusive, not exactly like Casey, because he's extra by the book, but she softened throughout the time of the show going on, and they have a big boss they all check in with, kind of like Charlie's Angels type gimmicks of like, you know, hey, we got this mission for you, or Mission Impossible, if you will, you know, where you check in with your top guys. And like I said, that's fun, but going back to the Buy More, the Best Buy, if you will. We've got so many fun characters. Chuck's best friend works there. His name is Morgan. Morgan's future stepdad, Big Mike. Big Mike is the boss of everybody at the Buy More and the manager. And again, we've talked about on the show already how that actor showed up in Terminator 2, and that was a fun conversation piece, because, you know, I just always love when you see people places you didn't expect them. So but yeah,
Wasn't he also in the Justice League?
Oh really? The Big Mike?
No, he wasn't. Never mind.
Okay.
Sorry,
I wish.
Of Cyborg's dad.
Oh no, he's different actor.
Yeah,
but
different actor. Sorry.
No, it's all good. But I would have been funny though. Cause
yeah.
he's a fun guy. But what I was gonna say is, so the show, one of the things, at least personally, I feel like the show does so well is evolve. It evolved strongly from the beginning to the end, and that is something I admire within continuing media, whether it's comics or TV, because so often you'll check something out and it seems like, you know, what's the point of this still happening, because nothing has changed. Whereas with this show, almost every season, if not every season, something really monumental goes down, and then, you know, you start back up, and it's craziness. Like at one point, Brandon Routh shows up, and we got all the DC connections. We got Doom Patrol, we got Shazam, Superman Returns, exactly. But yeah, so he shows up. He starts out as an ally, but I pretty much pegged it from the beginning that he was going to turn into a big time antagonist. But yeah, just seeing the two interact, Brandon Routh and Zachary Levi, it made me long for the return of Brandon Routh's Superman. and how that, if done differently on a second chance, like make that shield big and don't give him like a weird Speedo look to the trunks. Like if either go all the way or don't go at all. Stop with this weird, like we're ashamed of what we're making stuff.
And don't make them too whiny.
Oh yeah,
yeah. We'll talk about Superman Returns.
Absolutely. I'm just saying.
Yes.
I think Brandon Routh could have had
done a very good job if the material.
Absolutely. That's often how things happen. But what I was gonna say is that so the show does a really good job of evolving from start to finish. So at the beginning of the show, it is believed that both of Chuck's parents are deceased. But as the show continues, we find out that not only is Scott Bakula alive and playing Chuck's father, but it's revealed after he gets killed that their mom, Chuck and his sister Ellie's mom, is also alive, and she was deep undercover doing the government work, and that's why she was always out away from the family. And I feel like everybody was treated so respectfully throughout the show, and never did they treat the audience like they were dumb. Like, oh my goodness, like there's one point where Chuck doesn't have the computer in his head, and Morgan accidentally or unintentionally gets it implanted in his head. And so this is in the final season, and everybody's just treated so positively, and I'm a big fan of that concept. Oh my goodness, did you know that Chuck had a limited comic series?
Oh no, I didn't know.
Yeah, so it was put out by Wildstorm Comics, who I was a big fan of. And actually, DC was a big fan of Wildstorm. Do you know that? So DC went to Jim Lee, the creator of Wildstorm, and said, Jim, we would love for you to draw our heroes. And he's like, well, I have my own heroes. I have my own publishing company. Like, why would I come work on Superman and Batman and all that if I got my own thing? I said, well, we really want you to do that. How about we buy your company?
Oh.
And so I don't know. I looked it up once. I don't know precisely what DC paid, but they were willing to buy out his entire company just to get him to do their art.
Wow.
And that man has advanced so high up that now I think is the tip-top exec on the creative side of the comic company. But yeah, so Wildstorm, Jim Lee's publishing company, was purchased because that's how much they wanted him to do or draw their characters.
Oh hell, I can understand why.
Oh yeah. Jim Lee's stellar. Oh my goodness. Yeah. But the Chuck comic, it was very fun. It was limited, like I said. I think it was 6, 8 issues max, 6 or 8 issues. But yeah, it was fun. I wish that it could have continued.
I mean, so I kind of like, I really like Chuck a lot because this was in the time that I was really watching Monk.
Yep.
And what is the show?
Where you pretend psychic?
Yeah, Psych. Yeah, Psych. And it just, to me, those will be, I would say, like, those are the trilogies of detective 2000s, like late 2000s or 2010s.
Dude,
like,
Monk is a stellar friggin' show.
Oh yeah, Monk is great. I can understand why that got 10 seasons.
I'm so glad. Did you hear it's getting a movie? Oh my goodness, I'm excited for that.
Yeah, and I just think that Chuck fits right in there.
Yes.
It's easily digestible.
Yes.
But they do take care of the characters, and I always have this theory where I say, like, TV shows usually are only good for 5 to 6 seasons, and then after that they start becoming redundant. Well, there's exceptions to the rule.
Of course.
But I think Chuck, 5 seasons,
it punched out when it should have.
Yep.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
Was, like, great.
Yeah.
And they never overstayed their welcome, like Alias or anything like that.
Yeah, and like I said, I think it's due to the growth of all the characters. So Casey especially, I think, had some of the most growth throughout, because at first he was just a hard-headed, government type. But by the end, you meet his daughter, you see his wife moving on because she believes he's dead. And yeah, no, it's man, Adam Baldwin, that guy's a great actor.
Mhm.
My goodness, I can't think of a time I've seen him pop up on screen. I was like, I'm not happy about this.
Yeah, you're not good. Yeah, I don't like this anymore.
Yeah, so, so with this new format, this revamped version of TV show analysis, we're doing it a lot like the way me and Josiah rated the video game AEW Fight Forever, which is a very simple binary, either watch or don't watch, like in the gaming, play or don't play system. And so, to me, it's easy, hands down, no questions asked. Watch Chuck if you've never seen it before. You won't be disappointed. It's funny, it's heartfelt, it's got a good love story, action all the time, great reoccurring characters. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What about yourself, sir?
Yeah, definitely a watch. I mean, there's really nothing bad that I can really say
Yeah,
about it.
I mean, either. Yeah, it's I got nothing.
Yeah,
I got nothing.
I mean, it's not gonna win like daytime Emmy. It's not like it's gonna be Breaking Bad or anything.
Sure.
But, yeah. But it's not meant to be.
It's lighthearted.
Exactly.
And I think that's one of the upsides of it is that it's very enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
And while we're talking about things that bring us joy, I would like to talk about
Everlasting.
Yes, Everlasting Survivors, my 68-page graphic novel, available via the link in the description of the video. You can get yourself one of 5 cover options. You can get hats and t-shirts and posters, all kinds of good things. Not only will you be, supporting us here at the channel, but you'll be ensuring that more stories can come by picking yourself up a copy of Volume 1 of the book. Thank you, sir, for joining me for this. I look forward to September's next Wednesday Rewind when we talk about Daybreak, a show. Well, it got canceled before it could even finish, but more importantly than that, it was a show that the creators had such care for that they said, all right, even though the network told us we're done, they still finished the story, which is something I admire. And, honestly, something I long for, finishing the story. Mm-hmm. And so, come back next week for movies on Monday, trivia Tuesday and Thursday, and more awesome, fun Friday content.
Yeah. And don't forget to like and subscribe also.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, and comment. Yes. The usual stuff.
Yes. Goodbye.
Bye.